Edit, coming to you live from here, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. Senate passes 2.17 trillion naira 2023 supplementary budget. Court slams 10-count charges on former MD Casco, remands him in prison. Plus, Egypt to evacuate nearly 7,000 foreign nationals from Gaza. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Many thanks for joining us. We begin this afternoon with a breaking news where the Nigerian Senate has passed the 2.17 trillion naira 2023 supplementary appropriation bill recently sent to it by President Bola Tinubu. The passage followed the adoption of the report of the harmonized sittings of both chambers, and the bill is submitted by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriations, Senator Solomon Olamilekan Adeola, APC, Ogun West. Recall that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration submitted a 2.1 trillion naira budget to the National Assembly after the Federal Executive Council approval on Monday. Key components of the budget include 210 billion naira for wage award for civil servants, 605 billion naira for national security and defense, 300 billion naira for maintenance of bridges, especially the Eko Bridge, and 400 billion naira for cash transfer to vulnerable households, while 200 billion naira is for seed and agricultural inputs and equipment, and 18 billion naira for the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to conduct off-season elections. Meanwhile, the Senate has confirmed the remaining 3 resident electoral commissioners for the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), nominated by President Bola Tinubu. The nominees are Dr. Bumio Moshe Indemi from Lagos State, Dr. Anubum Onoja from Rivers State, and Ismaila Kara Moi from Zamfara State. The trio were not present when the other 7 nominees were confirmed on Wednesday. 7 nominees confirmed on Wednesday are Tekemba Omorin Akwa Ibom, Isha Ehimekene from Edo, Oluwatoyin Babalola Ekiti, Abubakar Ahmed from Gombe, Shehu Wahab Kwara, Aminu Idris Nasarawa, Mohammed Abubakar Sadiq Niger. The confirmation follows Tinubu's request on Wednesday for confirmation of the nomination of the regs for INEC in accordance with the provisions of Section 154, subsection 1 of the Constitution. Recall that Tinubu had last week approved the appointment of 10 new regs for INEC for a 5-year term each. In the meantime, the Senate has sworn in Senator-elect for Kogi Central Senatorial District Natasha Apoti-Oregon as a member of the 10th Senate. This followed her presentation with certificate of return by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) as the duly elected senator for Kogi Central. Apoti-Oregon, who is elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), is reportedly the first female senator from Kogi State. Recall that the Court of Appeal Abuja Division upheld Apoti-Oregon as the duly elected candidate in the Kogi Central senatorial election held earlier in February, dismissing the appeal filed by Abubakar Ohere of the All Progressives Congress (APC) for lacking in merit. From the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives has issued a 72-hour ultimatum to the Accountant General of the Federation (AGF), Oluwatoyin Madin, to submit a detailed report on the use of 100 billion naira COVID-19 intervention funds approved and released by the government of former President Muhammadu Buhari to ministries, departments and agencies between 2020 and 2022. The Chairman, House Committee on Public Accounts, Bamidele Salam, who issued the notice in Abuja, expressed dismay at the AGF's refusal to comply with the resolution of the committee to submit the report on October 27, 2023. Salam noted that the House had mandated the committee to investigate the expenditure incurred under the COVID-19 interventions, especially in the year 2020 and up to 2022. He therefore directed the AGF to transmit the report before the close of work on Friday, November 3, 2023. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has also called on the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, to take urgent steps to address cases of killing of young girls in Nigeria for ritual purposes. This followed the adoption of a motion on a matter of urgent public importance moved by the lawmaker representing Anthony Opobo in Nkoro Federal Constituency, Rivers State, Awaji Abiante. Leading the debate, Abiante said the recent wave and sustained killings of young girls who are mostly undergraduates by their proposed boyfriends for ritual purposes could not be allowed to continue. He recalled the recent murder of 20-year-old Justina Otwene, an undergraduate in the Department of Biochemistry, University of Port Harcourt, by Damian Okoligwe of the same university. The House therefore called on the Inspector General of Police to set up a crack team to conduct a holistic investigation with the sole aim of unmasking the cartels behind the killings and bring them to justice. In the meantime, the House of Representatives has asked President Bola Tinubu to call political parties in Bayelsa State to order, drawing attention to the House to possibly unrest in the state in the build-up to the election. In an email, noted that the National Security Advisor should be asked to swing into action to guarantee a peaceful election in the state. In a related development, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has said that there will be no room for those intending to disrupt the November 11, 2023 governorship elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states. General Musa, while speaking to reporters at a one-day work visit to commission some internal projects at the headquarters of the 6th Division of the ensure that citizens in those states can vote without fear of any possible disturbances. He affirmed that President Tinubu's administration is committed to ensuring that lives and properties of citizens are adequately secured before, during, and after the forthcoming poll in the 3 states. Away from that, the federal government, through the Ministry of Works, has announced that it will be closing 2 rams of the 3rd Mainland Bridge for repairs. According to the statement signed by the Federal Controller of Works, O.I. Keisha, a motoring public had notified that the repair works will begin with the rams connecting Oworoshoki to Adekunle and Lagos Island at Deniye Dele to Adekunle simultaneously. Keisha revealed that the rams will be closed to traffic by 7 a.m. on Monday, November 6, 2023 for 5 weeks. She advised motorists to cooperate with the traffic management officials by obeying and observing all diversions as directed and encouraged them to use the alternative routes as attached. To judicial matters now, where a Kano State High Court presided by Justice Hafsat Sani Yahya has remanded the former managing director of the state-owned agri-company Casco of allegations of embezzling 3.2 billion state treasury funds. At the resumed hearing today, the prosecution counsel slammed 10-count charges on Bala Muhammad Inowa and his son Bala Inowa Muhammad Jr., with charges bordering on alleged persistent sharing of the 3.2 billion naira to their cronies. Among those who received the alleged monies were the former governor Omar Abdullahi Ganduje and the APC National Chairman Foundation, Ganduje Foundation, which allegedly received 30 million naira. We move now to Africa, where Zambia's government has withdrawn retirement benefits and privileges from former President Edgar Lungu following his decision to return to active politics. In a press conference, government spokesman Cornelius Nwetwa said the former leader would not be treated with equality of the law just like any other senior citizens of the country. Nwetwa noted that it was clearly stated in the law that former presidents who return to politics would lose their benefit. Recall that Lungu lost the presidency to Hakainde Hichilema in 2021, after which he announced his retirement. Still in Africa, Germany's President Frank-Walter Steinmeier has apologized for killings under colonial rule in Tanzania as he met descendants of Sangambano executed for leading a revolt. Steinmeier, while describing Bano as brave leader in the rebellion, assured the people that Germans will join in search of answers to the open, unanswered, and outstanding questions regarding the German East Africa era. Reports say German East Africa was a colony part of German possessions which covered today's Tanzania, Rwanda, and Burundi. Meanwhile, the Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has said that Egypt is preparing to facilitate the evacuation of nearly 7,000 foreign citizens in Gaza from more than 60 countries via the Rafah crossing. The ministry, in a statement, noted that the announcement follows a meeting between foreign ministry officials and ambassadors as well as other foreign representatives in Cairo. Egyptian officials say the evacuation plan will be carried out in accordance with Egypt's regulations and governing laws and the role incumbent upon each foreign mission in receiving its nationals from the Rafah crossing. The ministry added that first foreign nationals were able to cross from Gaza to Egypt yesterday, and more evacuations are expected to continue over the coming days. On the foreign scene, Iran-backed Islamist militant group Hezbollah has claimed it shut down an Israeli drone over southern Lebanon amid nearly daily crisis cross-border exchanges of fire that have spurred fears of wider conflict in the Middle East. Hezbollah claimed it hit the drone directly with a surface-to-air missile as it flew between the border villages of Al-Malikiya and Hunin. However, the Israel Defense Forces IDF acknowledged the Hezbollah missile launch but denied any damage was inflicted on its unmanned aerial vehicle UAV. In a statement, the IDF said it struck the terrorist cell that fired the missile and the launch site in response. And still to come in the news. Many thanks for staying with us. We move now to complete the rest of our news stories. On a business news, the federal government has reiterated its determination to kickstart full implementation of financial inclusion in all ministries, departments, and agencies. A Director, Economic Research and Policy Management, Federal Minister of Finance, Grace Obonna, disclosed this while declaring open a 3-day training program for Federal Ministry of Finance Staff Batch 2 in Abuja. A statement signed by the Director, Press and Public Relations, Stephen Kilibi, said the training was themed Service-Wide Financial Literacy in the workplace program on financial inclusion. According to her, financial inclusion around the world has continued to gain attention globally because of the important role it plays in economic development and poverty alleviation. Still in business, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Abubakar Bagudu, has stated his readiness to make available a federal government's commitment to Nigeria's $100 million Wholesale Impact Investment Fund. Bagudu stated these are the 6th annual convening on impact investing theme, Catalytic Capital for Inclusive Growth and Development, held in Lagos. Bagudu said across the 36 states of the country are hardworking men and women who are not looking for illegal jobs but meaningful and decent jobs. Recall that in May 2023, the federal government committed to contributing 50% of the initial raise of $100 million of Nigeria's wing, which amounts to $50 million. In health, the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Ali Pate, has called for global collaboration to strengthen childhood vaccination platforms and vaccine research and development. He made the call while addressing the first Asia-Pacific Summit on Infectious Diseases and Immunization, organized by the Asia-Pacific Immunization Coalition with the theme Vaccination for All, Access, Confidence and Equity, ACE, held in Singapore. The minister highlighted the challenges faced in the 21st century, including the COVID-19 pandemic, geopolitical tensions, regional conflict, economic uncertainties, widening inequalities, and climate change. He emphasized the critical role of vaccines in addressing the crisis and called for equitable access, enhanced confidence, and global health equity. Pate also highlighted the role of vaccines in mitigating the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and allowing for reopening and economic recovery. He however noted that there were still major challenges in ensuring equitable access to the vaccines. Still in health, the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA, has said that Nigeria successfully met its ambitious target of fully vaccinating 70% of its population against COVID-19 pandemic. The Director of Disease Control and Immunization, NPHCDA, Dr. Basi Okposon, made this known in an interview with newsmen in Abuja. Okposon said 80% of eligible persons in the country were at least partially vaccinated against COVID-19, and 17.5 million fully vaccinated persons in Nigeria have received additional COVID-19 vaccine booster doses. He noted that 6 states have achieved 100% of the target population vaccinated in the country, adding that the milestone marks a crucial step in the country's efforts to combat the ongoing pandemic and safeguard the health and well-being of the citizens. In sports, last season's runners-up Newcastle will play Chelsea in the Carabao Cup quarter-finals, while Liverpool face West Ham. Newcastle have eliminated Manchester City and Manchester United in the past 2 rounds and travel to Stamford Bridge for the next round. Everton entertained Fulham in an all-Premier League tie, and League One outfit Port Vale play at home against Middlesbrough of the Championship. The matches will commence from December 18, 2023. Still in sports, Real Madrid forward Rodrigo Goes has signed a new contract until 2028. The Brazilian winger has agreed to extend his deal in the same week his compatriot Vinicius Jr. also signed on at the Santiago Bernabeu until 2027. Reports say Rodrigo, 22, has struggled to hit top form this season, but is a key player for Madrid, scoring a brace against Osasuna in May to win Los Blancos their first Copa del Rey trophy since 2014. On our entertainment news, Nigerian singer Moravi has released her